Are you looking to change your web design, but you just don't know CSS and you're not using a CMS like WordPress, Workflow, Wix, or something that's easy to visually change your website and you have to do this manually? Good thing there's a browser extension that's called InTab and it helps you exactly do that. You can visually change your website look and it's going to give you the CSS code where you can later update on your file manager. So it makes it easy to visually edit a website and then update it. So let me show you what I'm talking about and then you decide if it's something that is useful for you or not. Let's go jump over there to check it out. Okay, this is the deal that's going on right now, and it's only $39 for the lifetime deal, and you get access to 3 browsers. So that means you can install it on 3 browsers and use this simultaneously if you want. So if you have a virtual assistant, a friend, or a teammate that you want them to use it also, well, they have access to it because you have 3 browser options to install it. Now, things that you can do is that you can inspect CSS on Hover, debug CSS issues visually, fix responsiveness in virtual devices, and many more things that we're gonna check out on this video. Like I mentioned before, 3 browser licenses and you get access to all of this. Now, really quickly, I want to let you know that this is a browser extension and you can enable this on Chrome Web, Firefox, Edge, and Opera. So if you're using any of those, you can install it like I have on my page. So for example, this is a site that I don't have access, but I want to know how it actually works on the back end with CSS, or if I want to make changes to it. Let's just say that this is my site and I need to make some modifications and I don't have a visual builder like I would on WordPress, Wix, Webflow, or any of other those. So I have a PHP script site, or maybe I have something that is just HTML and I don't have access to a visual builder. This is going to help me accomplish that. Let me show you really quickly. I am going to enable it by clicking on this little icon. Now I have enabled it using InTab. I have clicked on it and this is what I get right now. So for example, if I want to enable the visual builder, I'll enable it right here. Edit CSS. I'm going to visually look at changes that I want to make and then get the code that I need to update on the backend, on the file manager. So I'll enable visual editor and the code editor. Okay, so I have both of these and it's going to add 2 tabs to this section, visual editor and code editor. So I'm able to view some of the things that I have selected. So in this case, I'll select this section of text. And if I go into code editor, this is that code for that. If I click on this one, select it there. Now it's selected that one. I'll go back into this section. Here we go. And I'm going to go into the visual editor. So I have options for position, for example, block, flex, grid, or get rid of it totally. If I just say, you know what, I don't want that section enabled, well, that is possible. Let me go ahead and turn it back on. So it's things that you can see, hey, I can turn it off just to see how it looks. Maybe that's what the look I want to accomplish, and I'll grab the code for it. If I want to go into sizing, for example, check that out. I'm changing the sizing for this block. So if that's something that I want to do, that is possible grabbing the code. For the height, see how it's changing the height there for that particular box. The spacing for it. For example, if I want to add spacing on the top, I'll say, you know what, 100 pixels, and it added that padding, the spacing to it. So it's actually padding. If I want to do padding from here, that's also available. Like I said, when I do these changes, I'm actually viewing the code, how it's actually changing it over here. So if I later want to grab that piece of code and change it on the file manager for that specific space, I can actually do it. There's the margins for it. Let me actually turn this back right there. Here we go. There's also the text options for it. If I want to make it centered, aligned to the right, aligned to the left, the text color for it. If I want to see, hey, how does it look on red? Well, I can do that there. If I don't like red, I could do maybe blue. Okay, these are just options. The font size. This helping me out see how it visually looks. There's a line height, line spacing, word spacing, etc. All right. There's a background for this. In this case, the background is transparent or white. But if I say, you know what, how about black? And that's how it's going to look. How about grayish? Well, we're able to view it. Or white in that position. The borders for it, again, I can do solid, I can do dashes, and I can change the border right there. I can add it to it. Let's go back. Let's go into the effects. You have the opacity, you have shadow colors. Let me go and find an image really quickly. No images here, or maybe this section right there. Okay, I've selected the button right there. I'll go into effects and I'm going to offset. Here we go. And I'm just going to see how this would look with an offset. See how it looks there? So that's something I want to do. Maybe I want to add some opacity to it or not. And if I like it, well, I'm going to use the code for it. Now, if you like the changes that you've made, you can actually export the CSS and download it to your system, and then you can later update it. Or in case you just want to grab the code and open up the CSS files that it belongs to and update it there. That is possible. The editor config, things that you want to view or not, tag class ID CSS, hex RGB, depending on how you want to view the font color. Well, actually any color, hex RGB or HSL. We have the layers on the left, for example, for this element that's selected. We have the layers for it. We have devices here. If I want to view in different type of devices, here's the phone, here's a tablet, and we're able to view how that actually looks. We have laptop view, and we have all the views right there, just in case you want to visually see how it looks in those type of devices, or make some editing with devices. You have the device options here, sizes, phones, tablets again, and different type of sizes for different type of phones like Google, Samsung, or iPhone. You can also use the inspector. So let me turn on the inspector right here. It's actually, I've selected everything. Let me go ahead and click everything. There we go. I'm visually looking at outline, selectors, the CSS, the content, padding, margin. And if I hover over things, we're able to view all of this. Check this out. We're to view that. There we go. If there's something that we want to view, or we just want to look at padding, oh, we're able to view the padding. Oh, that's how much padding it has, right? So you're able to do that just by visually inspecting it there. There's a debug option for X-ray, breakpoints. You're able to view those all in the same, like everything right there visually. You have all those options available there. We can also hide the menu if it's in the way that you want to look at something. We can move these visual editors. For example, if they're blocking something, we can move them somewhere else. There's also the reset CSS, like you saw right there. Let me turn off debug. It removed the shadows because I resetted that section there. You can also collapse all or collapse them back to view the code again. So those are the things that you can do. You can make some visual editing to this so you can later update your CSS file. Like I mentioned before, this is useful when you don't have a visual editor for your specific site, or maybe you want to edit if you're using WordPress or something like that, but you want to edit via CSS and not the visual builder, for example. And it's super easy. I mean, you can view sites like that, or I could view one of my sites, for example, SaaSmaster.net. Here's one of my sites. There we go. And if I want to activate it here, that is possible. Just activate it there. And I can go ahead and view everything there. The debug, make changes to it again. If I select a section, that is possible with this. See that there? It's possible. It's super easy with InTab. Well, that is InTab for you guys. Whoever wants to grab that deal, it's only $39 for the lifetime deal, and you get access to 3 browsers. If you ask me if this is a good buy or not for you, it will depend. Like I mentioned before, if you have sites that don't have visual builders, then this could be easy. And again, if you don't know CSS, well, this could be a good option. And maybe you do know CSS, but it makes it easier to just visually make the changes here and grab the CSS code, so you don't have to write all that code manually. So it depends on those use cases. If you don't need to do visual changes in CSS, well, this is not something that's useful for you. But there you go, that is InTab. If you guys want to grab it, that link will be in the description. It's an affiliate link, so if you grab it through my link, it just gives me a small commission and it helps me out make these videos. I thank y'all for watching. My name is George and this is SaaS Master. I'll see you guys later.